All right, Shalom, Israel. Quick video giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakah Kadash. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostle, elder bishops, great millstone, much salutation to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful elect. Soon to be the elect, most high will to the hopeful extended elect, Shalom blessings. And I want to get, into other videos about current status of things, a few things going on, that's supposed to be going on according to prophecy. This is a movie, The Truman Show. It's starring Jim Carrey. It's about a guy that grows up into basically a world that's already been built and presented to him in a fashion to where he, they don't tell him, but it's basically for his liking to where he think it's real. Even his own family and relatives, basically kind of like planted there by a higher elite men, and they got cameras everywhere and everything is like a movie advertisement, a test to see if he figures things out. They chose his parents, they chose everything for him, his life. I mean, it's a good movie. It's like the apostle, elder bishop say, it's a good movie to watch. I would recommend it myself. I mean, it's one of my favorite movies, along with The Matrix, along with what's that other movie? The Lawnmower Man. Similar to They See. I think it's called They See, or They Live. One of them titles. I like sci-fi, and but I don't like the sci-fi that show aliens. Of course, because they paint the picture of the spacecrafts as UFOs, and they put aliens inside them, and that's not factual. According to the Bible, according to truth, we're the true men. Everything's a lie except us. Everything's fake and make believe and false except us, except the true men, which is the men that the Lord is dealing with. And even it says we pull many scriptures, it's often going to that scripture, he that wanted out of the way of understanding remain in the congregation of the dead. So they're really dead. These people, they're not really real people. They have a purpose of what they do in life, but according to the real status of what's going to be and what's going to become, they're not even relevant except to be servants, slaves. But that's what he was kind of in this movie. He represents us. I love movies, man. I love the Superman movies. Because I believe, Most High wouldn't put that in a man's mind if it wasn't real. We were once able to fly. We had capes. We had power. We had, powers to move the elements. All that Aquaman and X-Men stuff, that was us. So-called Black, Latino, Native Americans, But yeah, it's a good movie to watch. Now, it says in the scriptures, let every man be a liar, but it's not talking about the prophets. It's talking about, because the prophets speak the mouth of the Most High. Most High speaks to the prophets. I'll get that scripture. But it says, where is it at? Just be true. Every man a liar. It says, Romans 3 and 4, Most High forbid, yea, let every, let's see what 3 says. Yeah, what if the truth? What if some did not believe? Romans 3 and 3, we can start there. What if some did not believe? And that's everything. That's What if they didn't believe in prophecy? What if they didn't believe that this America's going to be destroyed? What if they didn't believe that so-called black men, Latino, Native Americans of the elect is going to get, they're going to get their status of power? What if they didn't believe that superpower is going to come to certain men on the earth to upset the wicked rule, um, to take the wicked down, to take the kingdom? What if they didn't believe that? The Most High forbid. What if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? Because, concerning prophecy, destruction has to come to the wicked. I mean, people can believe that this is the last end and that everybody just stabilizes themselves some kind of way, and then certain people, everybody kind of like do their own thing and running to the right off in the sunset in their own movie. That's not how it's gonna go, man. Most High forbid. Yea, let the Most High be true, God be true, but every man a liar. So the prophets are not regular men, as it is written that thou mightest be judged, justified in thy sins, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. There it goes right there. You know, like every man lied that against the true men of the Most High. So let them true men be justified. Uh, and it said what it said: speak to the mouth of the prophets. You can't say, well, that's God, not you, not y'all. Can't be simple, Jake. Luke. And we could start at 168. It says, blessed be the Lord, power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, possessive. So it's not talking about redeem the world, his people. And he hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. David had a lineage. He had a son, Solomon. Solomon had his sons, and so forth. Were known as the Israelites, whole house of Israel. But it's an elect according to this time right now. The Most High, there's different times mean different things. We're not. It even says that in the Apocrypha back then it was open. It was the gates were broad, the way of life was broad, but now it's narrow to one man enter at a time. It says, as he spake, blessed be the Lord, God of his, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have since the world began. So you'd be like, well, you can't judge me, and only God could judge me. Then you're making, that's false information. You're part of the lying system. You're part of the system of robbery and lies. And it says it's full of robbery and lies. This whole place is a lie, man. Everybody do like that first impression thing. When you meet, let's say you meet a woman, her first impression to get you is, that's not her all day. She's just putting on a role to get you, and you could say same thing about us. I mean, like, yeah, you put on your best show to get something that you want. So you'll tell a woman, yeah, I do this and I got this, and you might say you got a business and all that, but just add more attraction. And she said, I thought you had a business. You be like, well, yeah, I do got it. It's my business. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it doesn't meet the standards of people later on, of the outcome of how they fell for you in the first place. But that's neither here nor there, because pretty soon we are going to be princes of power. We are now, but in a physical state. But they don't see it because it's not come to pass yet. But it says Nahum 3:1, woe to the bloody city, is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth it not. So everything, is a lie around this place. The education is a lie. Education comes from within. You should learn. That's why it talks about women when they learn anything, learn from their husband at home, because he's supposed to have the knowledge at home. He doesn't have to. Now there is a schooling type of pattern of learning things. Most High said he set up teachers. You shall see your teachers. It's a certain schooling concerning even the prophets growing up, becoming prophets, being called to be prophets. Yeah, of course. But we talking about American standards, American education, American churches. It's all false. And not being a spoiler, but the movie, I mentioned the camera set up everywhere, and it showed that in the Matrix too, that they're watching him, like they watch us, the elites. They got access to cameras through your TV, through your phone, listening devices. So they be like, well, yeah, and like I said, they're gonna be saying stuff like they wrote the Bible, and they been they know your name and know everything you've done. They know your parents and your siblings. You can actually Google yourself. Uh, so it's basically like that. That's what they do to usurp power over you. One thing they do, you know, um, and act like they're the wisest people in the world, which they Most High allowed them to become wiser than Daniel. But they're gonna Most High is gonna basically catch them in their have their own deceit. They're gonna be caught up in their own deceit. And it says the deceiver and the deceived is the Most High. So while they're watching us, the angels are watching us. I mean, watching them. Angels record too, man. They report to the Most High and they record things too. Uh, Let me see. All right, here's. I want to make sure I spell deceived right. Nope. It's the E before I. Yeah. Yeah, it says Job 12:16, with him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. So he set up this so-called white man to deceive, set up these churches, allow these churches to be set up, and this education to be set up so it could be, the simple could be taken by it, because the Most High told us not to be simple. Simple believeth every word. Simple believe everything is normal in this place. But a prudent man go about his way. He consider things. So when he go out, he was like, man, something's going on. That's what Jim Carrey in that movie, he started to discover. Like, okay, wait a minute. This happened. He is almost to becoming a prophet, predicting something that was already he knew was already going to happen. Like, yeah, okay. So this is, watch, every season they're going to come out with a disease. I'm just using an analogy according to how we're living today, which is similar to the movie. Every now and then they're going to raise up taxes and around this time, and cause war about this time. Even the 250-year period of kingdoms that we talk about that rule, that every 250-year period they get taken down. Those things are true, and very prophetic. What else? So then you start to realize a lot of stuff, man. Like, damn, what's going on? Because every black so-called community around the world is, and even with prisoners, filled with poverty, and oppression. And you be like, well, and then you kind of start to weigh the odds. You be like, well, why is it? You know, something's going on, and so it's kind of like now when you realize everything, your woman, you get with your woman, she said, well, let's go to church, you know. Then you get with you might break up with her, and you get your other woman. She's into the same. She says the same thing. It's like a damn repeated movie line. Yeah, babe, we should go to church. And my daddy, my father got a job, and my mother, you could go to her church. You can go to, or you should get your degree and go to the military, and we can get a house. It's that same line. And we told you overall, this is a movie. It's the Most High's movie. So the white so-called white man was sent to play the wicked, sent to in this movie, sent to be the serpent, to be crafty. And then you be like, and then you start to figure it out. You like, damn, I heard that line before. I know exactly what Satan is going to do. He's going to use the woman again, even with this MOTB. He's going to start using artists, celebrities, influencers, uh, women. They're all in the nursing department, sticking needles in people. They're going to put them in the head of these precincts of these facilities that's going to be issuing the CHIP. Same thing with probation officers and what do you call it? Yeah, in control of the what do you call it? The other stuff when you're dealing with SNAP and you're getting your SNAP benefits, your welfare, all that. It's all and then I think I forget his name, King Charles. I think he's not really a king, but his speech he said that we're gonna increase the benefits of and reconstruct the issuing of welfare and Section 8 and all that. So that's another act of deception to where he's pulling Jake in again to believe that America is for his better half. That, if you're waking up and you're the true men, we'd have the true news. GMS has the true news. They have the 100% uh, doctrine, correct doctrine. Some has to be 100%, man. I'm telling you. Ain't nothing like 100% on your test. You might get like 98. Like, damn, no, I wanted 100. It's nothing like drinking wholesome, uh, wholesome water without it being contaminated. Nothing like um, a wholesome diet, 100%, health. Yeah, 98%, yeah. But that 1% or whatever could be your downfall. So you want 100%, but I just mentioned that. But anyway, yeah, this is the world that we live in. The Matrix, it's like the Truman Show. This is a big ass show. That's why all those presidents are basically entertainers. They're actors. Ronald Reagan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Trump. He didn't even want to be president. He was a what they call it, intern, I think. Uh, you know, stage fights, stage. I can't even watch hardly boxing, or sports because it's staged. A lot of it's staged. You know, like Muhammad Ali said, you can't. You got 1,000 snakes. You're not gonna any mini mighty mo and search through and see which snake is poison or not. They all snakes. They all able to possibly, be that one that put venom in you. And that's the so-called white man. That's the system. Anything the system offers. So, we're living in this world of make-believe where everything is false. and staged, and it's a dream world. It's just exactly that. You got to wake up from it. The Most High, it can only wake you up from it, give you knowledge, wisdom, understanding to become true men, to where you see the lies. But anyway, I didn't want to make this long, man. Shalom, hope it's edifying.